What do I suggest for the right hand? A lot of exercises and not silly exercises. I mean, the main mantra is what I learned that from Heinrich Schiff. The hand should always be same. So nothing here. Bow changes. No 8, no 6, no 5, no whatever. Just going back and forth. Going like. And this you have to spend a lot of time. I mean, I'm sure I spent 1,000 hours or maybe 10,000 hours on my bow hand alone over the last 35 years. I should do the math with that, but yes, it's really important to work on that, and I do that every day. Now it's down to 5 minutes a day, or let's see, maybe no, it's more. Yeah, it's 5-6 minutes. That's my first. When I get up, I have banana bow, very slow piatti number 1. Only the first, and I'm talking slow. That's bad. And banana bow is that we get the string to ring immediately, and I that often. I mean, I've never showed banana bow different like that. And the other day I saw somebody, oh yeah, banana bow. It's the opposite. Banana bow is really not to. I do banana bow. Oh, nice. The cello sounds beautiful. This is more of a almost meditative exercise to get the string to ring, not on the fingerboard again, and with as little bow speed as possible, and just to immediately. Oh, that's bad. I have to stop talking and just do it. C string is obviously the hardest, and up bow, down bow, without stopping the bow. That I stopped. I'm stopping. Okay, at the frog. At the frog, it's obviously harder. So that we can play something like that. So we're as close to the frog and to the bridge as possible. So we have a dark sound. Because if we go here, we think, oh, I'm so musical. No, this is not so musical. This is cowardish, and it just sounds pale. And you always have to ask yourself, is that really a pale, dead place? Is the protagonist dead already? Is he already dead for a couple of weeks and smelling and worms coming out of wherever? No. Very rarely do we need that color. And that's why it's a good question. So the right hand deserves a lot of thinking and working. Ailed cellist asks for bow exercises for projecting and warm sound. Well, off the fingerboard. The fingerboard is called sultasto, and people play there all the time. Don't. And don't use too much bow speed. That's the other thing. The kind of all-inclusive bow speed. So boring. I mean, after 30 seconds I would love to leave because it just sounds all the same. It's like all little pretty baby clouds. Music is more than just the bow doing this and this. The bow is our soul. So there's a big bow video. Open strings and to master the bow, and slow bow is important. So slow, close to the bridge, and not loud but soft, like bows which last a minute. And then if you play, listen, watch yourself what you're doing. with the bow in action. So my first 3 of 10 daily exercises I'm doing, daily routines, they are all bow related. So bow is the most important thing we have. I mean, left hand is one thing, but the bow is where the music happens. And projecting happens close to the bridge. Here is no projection. So this is called sul tasto for all cellists and non-cellists, because that is the fingerboard. To play on the fingerboard in Italian is called sul tasto. To play very close to the bridge is called ponticello. And if we don't use enough, or if we use too much bow speed close to the bridge, then it sounds like this. But if we use less speed, I was teaching today Haydn C major, and if we have the second theme, if you play this won't sound much softer than. So if you want a difference between the very beginning of that piece and the second theme, you have to play the beginning bigger. That sounds here far too loud because I'm in a little room and the microphone is right there. But if you play with orchestra in a bigger hall, this just sounds forte, nothing more. I didn't play as loud as I could. Then if the second theme happens, you just use much less bow. So much easier than on my cello. Anyway, so warm sound projecting is one thing. I mean, yeah, learn how to apply your arm weight onto the bow and onto the string, and don't produce the sound by fast bow speed. Avoid that. This is just bad for your back, bad for, I think the thumb will start hurting more, and bad for the sound. It chokes the sound. So if you want projection and warm sound, figure out the right hand. Do for the rest of your life bow exercises, as I do, if you're a professional cellist. If you do it as a hobby, do it as well. It's much more fun to have a bow technique you can rely on. Nicholas is asking, any thoughts on playing a note in one bow without any unwanted sounds? I probably don't understand the question, but the thing with unwanted sounds is that's what I for me the big difference between Rostropovich and Shafran, and again Shafran, I don't know much about Shafran, but it strikes me that Shafran wants to produce this sound without any unwanted noise, and Rostropovich didn't care. Unwanted noise, wanted noise, whatever, he wanted to bring a musical point across, and you might agree or disagree with that point, but that was his main incentive. I don't think Rostropovich's main incentive was to play the cello as good as possible. That was the point of Shafran. Rostropovich was more a musical force, and that's what interests me. I would not be worrying about playing a note without any unwanted sound. I would rather worry about a note playing without meaning. So we should have meaning in what we play, but if there's the sound, sometimes even dirt in the sound can make it more interesting. I mean, if we practice, yeah, we have to practice it. So you practice a long note, if that's what you mean. But I don't know where the unwanted sound comes in. If it cracks, you have to just practice. Okay, now maybe I misunderstand everything, but that's a good point. I mean, there will be cracking, but if it cracks, you don't shy away. You try to do it better, or to change the speed, or to release the pressure, you don't go out. You have to, I would rather play around with the speed of the bow and the pressure, but not the contact point. In performance, that's a different story. I mean, I was teaching once the fifth Bach suite, showing it like this, practicing slower for practicing. And the person asks, so you play this whole piece that close to the bridge? And there I realized, no, I don't. I just practice it like that. And then in concert, I don't force myself to play it there all the time. I move out a little. But at least I know how it feels and what to do and how to make the sound there somehow. So to have something else than... So this is kind of like a teethless old lady, and we need the teeth, otherwise we starve. Shelo Jihun asks about my bowhold. Well, that's not as a big secret as for singers how to produce the sound here. You have to listen to a singing lesson how they try to explain the airflow and here, and you imagine you have a cathedral in your mouth or whatever, and because it's all inside. I mean, to teach singing, that's really a difficult job. But our bowhold is also quite hidden because we don't see it. And even if I show you exactly how I hold my bow, you need to find your own. And for that, there is a video on Patreon where I give some dry exercises, and you have to find your own way. I mean, all the fingers have to be somehow flexible, including the thumb. So if we do this exercise, rolling the bow like that, the thumb doesn't have to be all the time round. And even if it's round, it should not be blocked. We need the thumb as a suspension almost. Yeah, the bowhold is huge. I mean, it took me until today to feel really comfortable with my bow. In my early 20s, I felt horrible. It was slipping away, and I had bow trembling. So I did all kind of strange exercises, like the long bow without touching the string. So to go as close as possible and not touch this, very slow, and just to have the control, that you stay in control somehow. Aki Taki, hello. She asked if I have any advice on how to maintain a consistent sound while playing really fast passages. Well, as I always say, go away from the fingerboard and practice slowly. I mean, really fast passages. What do you mean? I mean, something like, you probably don't mean because that's, well, even there I would recommend not go, because there is you probably played in a bigger hall and there's an orchestra, so you cannot afford playing on the fingerboard. You have to about there somehow. It cannot be a sul tasto thing. But if you mean any other passages, like let's see, the Prokofiev in the cello symphony, legato passages, you just practice them slowly, completely in the string. I cannot think of anything better now. Oh, Saint-Saëns concerto. So that's the the slow version, obviously. So haven't played that in a year, but or almost. No, I played it in February. But yeah, stay in there. So you practice it slowly. No vibrato, sorry. I don't know what fingering. Yeah, you can stay with the thumb. But even if you play slowly with the bow in the string, don't give up. At some point I called that the honest sound. So with full hair and stay in the string. Don't give in or don't try to be virtuosic. I mean, virtuosic, there's the misunderstood virtuosity which goes like this. So that's easy, like above the. It's like a pianist not really going down into the key, but flying over it. And what we need to do is we have to really get into the sound. Like the piano, you need to press down the keys well to produce a sound. And here we need our arm weight onto the string. And to do that is practice slowly and then with metronome getting faster and faster while always playing maybe even louder than you want for the final result. And then do rhythms. So, and if you do the rhythm, if you play the rhythms, then also with full sound. Shit. And the other one. And last. And then finally you have. That's faster than necessary, but there you have a. If you watched my bow arm, it was quite. I mean, I tried to be calm actually, and here it's fast, but here this just goes. So don't do any. Nothing abrupt. This is just legato and good weight on the bow, and here you have to articulate well. Tips: what to watch out for buying a new bow. I like that if a bow really connects with the string and kind of that it feels like glue into the string. That's the most important. Anything else you can, if it jumps or I don't know. This is not a great jumping bow. This is a gluey bow and still it jumps. If you practice if you know what you're doing, then you can do it with any bow. But the gluey thing, no. If the bow doesn't do it, then having a nice legato and you have to bring somebody because you cannot tell how the bow sounds. You need somebody you trust, not the salesman or the owner of the bow, but your partner or your teacher, even though teachers sometimes take bribes. So be sure that the teacher doesn't know the dealer. And then they have to see what sounds better. Needs to feel good. But you can also adapt. Sometimes a great bow doesn't feel so good, but then it sounds great. And then you adapt and at some point it feels good.